Good evening and welcome to the 2025 Shenandoah Candidates Forum. KMA, in conjunction with the Forum to Revitalize Shenandoah, present this special event to inform the public on the candidates' viewpoints on various issues ahead of the November 4th city school elections. Assembled here at the Gladys Wirsig-Jones Auditorium stage this evening are the 9 registered candidates running for numerous positions on the Shenandoah City Council and with Shenandoah City Government. Now, with us tonight are the 2 candidates for mayor, Roger McQueen, the incumbent running for a second term as Shenandoah's mayor, and his challenger, Gerald Wagaman. The 2 candidates for Shenandoah's First Ward Council member, incumbent Rita Gibson and challenger Jeffrey Capps. The lone candidate running for Shenandoah's Third Ward Council member, incumbent Kim Swank. And the 4 candidates running for Shenandoah's at-large council position, Jeff Heiser, Alan Jordan, Matthew Regan, and Kathy Silvestri. Tonight, the candidates will answer a series of questions based on those submitted from the public on the forum's Facebook page. Not all of those questions submitted will be used, and hopefully we get to as many questions as we can as time permits in the hour and a half. Now let's get to the format for tonight. Each candidate receives up to 2 minutes for an opening statement. Now, each candidate will answer the same questions and have up to 2 minutes to answer each question. There will be no rebuttals. At around 8:20 or so, we'll try to wrap up the forum. If we go a little over, that's okay. If we go under, that's all right too. But we'll try to wrap up the forum with closing statements. Each candidate will have up to 2 minutes to make a closing statement. Now, no notes are allowed. We want this to be extemporaneous, and each candidate has been provided a pen and a notepad. No questions have been released to the public or to the candidates ahead of time. The speaking order has been grouped by contested races. The mayoral candidates will answer each question first, followed by the First Ward candidates, the Third Ward candidates, and the at-large candidates. We ask you to pass the microphone to each other and try to speak into it nice and loud so we can hear you. Now, the speaking order for the opening statements will be determined by alphabetical order, and the candidates for the mayoral and First Ward candidates will alternate in answering the questions first. Likewise, the at-large council race members' speaking order will alternate via alphabetical order. For example, whoever gave their opening statement second will be the first to answer the first question. So, in other words, if you hear me call out your name, speak. That's the answer. All right. So now that we have all of the rules out of the way, we'd like to introduce Natalie Kirsch, our timekeeper for tonight. She'll be giving taking care of the time here, keeping time for us. When it's close to 30 seconds, she'll hold up a sign that says 30 seconds. When your time is up, she'll hold up a time that says time's up, in which you then are done. Now that we've got all the preambles out of the way, it's time for the opening statements. We'll have the mayoral candidates first, and we go again by alphabetical order, and that means it's Roger McQueen first.
Thank you, Mike. I think first off, I just want to thank the citizens of Shenandoah for trusting me the last 4 years to be the mayor and giving me the honor to represent Shenandoah for the last 4 years. I thought about the many things that's changed and the progress we've made, but time's not going to allow me to list all those at this time. So I'm happy to say that there has been a lot of changes and there has been a lot of progress. And so, I ran in 2021 after Dick Hunt decided not to anymore. For one thing, I didn't make any promises. All I wanted to do was be able to help Shenandoah. I wanted to help Shenandoah be better. I wanted to help Shenandoah move forward. And so that's where I stood. And, I think we've done a good job of that. I think we've done a good job of making Shenandoah a place where families want to live and are proud to call home. I think we've done a good job of providing citizens safety with the police department and fire department. We have a first-class hospital and a first-class ambulance service. I think those things are important when we look at growth of having families that want to live here. We also, we offer the kids A great school system, as everyone knows, was rated this year. We have great daycares, parks all over town for the kids. You know, those are things I think that when we look at people moving to town, that's what we want to look at. So I'm going to offer the same thing I did in 2021. No promises, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do my best to offer the leadership, to work with the council, to work with SKIA, the chamber, Vision Shenandoah.
Time is up, Roger.
Thank you.
And we go to Jerry Wagaman.
Hi there. My name is Jerry Wagaman.
Speaking to the microphone there.
Sorry about that. My name is Jerry Wagaman, and I am running for the mayor of Shenandoah, Iowa. A little bit about me. I moved to Shenandoah in 1983. I worked for Madison International for 20 years and Mid-American Energy for 22 years, where I retired from Mid-American Energy this last April. I'm basically running, I want to be the person that listens to the people. I want to listen to all residents and all businesses. I'm here to act with fairness, treatment of all, no special treatments, no favorites. Everybody, all needs to be heard, and I'm here to represent the people.
All right, thank you very much, Jerry. Now let's go to the First Ward Council members, and Jeffrey Capps, you go first.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see you all here. My name's Jeffrey Capps. I've lived in Shenandoah since 1986. Graduated from here in 1991. Raised 3 boys here in town. All 3 graduated here. My father was a big person in this community in the 90s. He was the fire chief, Optimist Club, among other things. And I just felt that it's my time to give back to my community. I love my town. That's why I've stuck around. A lot of people my age didn't stick around. But my whole reason to be here is to give back to the people, and I want to make sure that everybody's voice is heard in this town. We all need to be on a level playing field. I believe that we need to be more open and transparent in the city, maybe learn to communicate better, and the way I feel, it's the citizens of this town that make the town great. I mean, you see when there's a storm, everybody gets together and helps each other and cleans up. And I think we need to do that in more, things here in town. Someone needs help, let's offer some help, Someone needs help with their yard, hey, let's get a group of volunteers together, let's do something about it. And I just think, the city's great now, but I think we can do greater things. But it's going to take all of us. And I think that's about it.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. And now we go to Rita Gibson.
Hi. I'm Rita Gibson. I'm running for councilperson on Ward 1. I'm a longtime resident of Shenandoah. I've done a lot of volunteering on different committees, and my interest is for community development. So I'm ready to apply my expertise for the people and also for the city and the challenges that we have coming towards us.
All right, thank you very much, Rita. And now we go to the 3rd Ward candidate, which is the lone candidate, Kim Swank.
Okay, my name's Kim Swank. I've been a longtime resident of Shenandoah all my life. I was fortunate enough to be selected to fill the unexpired term of Marv Adcock when he passed away. And I really got involved and really enjoyed to being on the council. Such, I ran 3 other times and got elected all 3 times. I'm running for the 4th time because I want to see some projects we got going right now finished. We've been talking about the sewer plant ever since I've been on the council, and I want to see that project through, and I want to see us get the water from the aquifer. I think those are 2 major projects that need to be done, and I want to be a part of that. And the town's been good to me and my family, and I think it's the least I could do to help them out whenever I can, and I'm willing to do whatever they need to do.
All right, thank you very much, Kim. And now we go to the council at large candidates, and we'll hear first from Jeff Heiser. Jeff?
Good evening. My name's Jeff Heiser, longtime resident as well. I am retired full-time from school after 28 years school administration and 25 and a half years with the police department. I decided to run after I found out Tony was not going to run again. I felt that I've spent 3 terms on the school board. I served as mayor and on the city council. And so I believe my background in administration and developing budgets, being proactive, setting policy and making sure policy is followed through is a plus. So on day one, I'd be able to hit the ground running. And like I've heard here tonight, I'm here for the citizens to make sure that their voice is heard, and when we make decisions as a council, that we are making those in the best interests of our citizens. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jeff. And now we go to Alan Jordan.
Yeah, I'm Alan Jordan. I've lived in Shenandoah for 43 years. I've owned a small business for 27 of those years, and I think I can lend my leadership qualities to the city of Shenandoah. I've served on several boards in town, Habitat for Humanity, West Page Improvement Center. I am the current president of the Shenandoah Tree Board, and I sit on the Greater Shenandoah Historical Society Museum Board. I also did 27 years of hunter's education instruction, just to try to help out in the community. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you very much, Alan. And now we go to Matthew Regan.
Hello, there we go. Hey, I'm Matthew Regan. I want to thank KMA and the forum for putting this on, getting everyone together, getting some questions and all that. I'm a long-term resident of Shenandoah. I grew up here, graduated in 2016, went to college, and my main goal was to get back here and be around my family. I want to see this community grow and prosper for generations to come, and I feel like we're in the right path for that, but there's always room for improvement, and I see a lot of potential in the town, and I want to make sure that potential gets reached. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Matthew. And now we go to Kathy Silvestri.
Hello. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to be involved in the future of our community. I would like to say this town has an enormous amount of potential, and it is underutilized. We can grow. There is so much room for growth in here. It's just amazing to see all of you who want to be a part of the conversation and a part of the solution, and the only place we can go is up from here. Our town is headed in the right direction, but we need to stop circling, and we just need to move forward.
All right, thank you very much, Kathy. And now we get to our first question for tonight. Again, these were submitted by individuals on the forum's Facebook page. Our first question: describe what you know about the Charles E. Lakin Southwest Iowa Initiative and how this will affect Shenandoah. Again, the question: describe what you know about the Charles E. Lakin Southwest Iowa Initiative and how this will affect Shenandoah. We start with the mayor's candidates. Jerry Wagaman, it's your turn. Go ahead.
To be honest with you, I don't know a lot about the Lakin Initiative. I have not talked with any of the representatives, not being involved with what's been going on with the city until I decided to run for mayor. So I really don't know how I would answer that question. I am very much so would like to know what takes place and what's going to go on, but until I can actually sit down and meet with them, I don't know what else I would actually be able to include into that.
All right, thank you very much. And now we go to Roger McQueen.
The Lakin family, back in August, announced that they would be giving about $165 million to small towns in southwest Iowa. Shenandoah qualified for $16.4 million, which 880 roughly thousand is available, yearly. So but one of the requirements is to form a board, which is what you see when we talk about Vision Shenandoah. This board then oversees how this money is going to be distributed. There's a lot of what we consider dream teams. We're talking about housing, recreation, and daycare. Those are the three things that the Lakens want this money to be spent on. And so these dream teams have been meeting, talking about the housing needs, daycare needs, and the recreation. So it's moving forward. Shenandoah will have a formal presentation in November with representatives from the board going to the Lakens, and then we'll know there how they are willing to accept some of the ideas we have and moving forward. It's a great thing for us. I mean, this money is going to be there whether we use it this year or we don't. That money continues to stay there. It's going to be a big plus for us. You know, Red Oak, Clarinda, all the small towns have got a chunk of this money coming in, and so it's a great opportunity for Southwest Iowa to grow. And the Lakens wanted to do this for the simple fact that they saw the population dwindling, and so this is what their idea was, and they pledged a partial amount of their family fortune to do in this. So, you know, I encourage everyone to get involved with Vision Shenandoah. It's a great project, and it's going to be the future of where Shenandoah goes.
All right, thank you very much, Roger. And now the First Ward candidates. Rita Gibson, it's your turn.
Yes, on the Laken, like Roger said, they have it earmarked for special things. I've been to a couple of their meetings. It's child care, housing, and those are two things that are really important in Shenandoah.
All right. Thank you very much. Jeffrey Capps, it's your turn.
All right, well, I'm kind of like Jerry. I didn't really know much about this till I started going to city council meetings, but sounds like a good thing for our city. And from what I gather, some of these things are grants, and some of them are loans we have to repay. And it'd be nice to see money to go to helping citizens in the town, like if someone needs help with a roof, maybe we can get them a new roof on their house. And I know a rec center is a huge one that people of the city are interested in. I think that would be a great project. And I know Margaret Brady has been in charge of all this, and I know sounds to me like she's working a lot and getting all kinds of ideas. It just sounds like we need to get together and finalize exactly what we want to do with these funds. But I can only see good things coming from it.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. And now we go to the Third Ward Councilman, Kim Swank.
What I know about the Laken thing is I know for one thing it's excited. The citizens of Shenandoah put a big spark under everybody thinking that we could get this money. And so they've got a lot of people that are involved in this from different committees and stuff. They talk about it. I know a little bit about the Park and Rec Department. They're in the process of working, trying to get new playground systems in all the parks, and it's really exciting to have the money. If we can get it from them for this project, it'd be great for the city to have new playgrounds in all our parks.
All right, thank you very much, Kim. Now we go to the council at large candidates, and Alan Jordan, you're next to answer the question.
I think it's great that a family would leave money to communities to use to, build up their equity in things. And I definitely know that we do need daycare in Shenandoah. Families struggle to be able to pay for daycare. One of their salaries usually goes to take care of the kids, and so that's something that we definitely need in town. We do need some of those service things too in the parks and maybe to provide some housing, something like that Shenandoah definitely needs.
All right, thank you very much. And now Matthew Regan.
I don't know a lot about the Laken Foundation, but they do get involved with smaller communities in this area, and I feel like we will benefit tremendously, no matter what opportunities it brings, whether it's updating or building something new. I think it'll be very beneficial for us.
Thank you very much, Matthew. Kathy Silvestri.
I think the Charles Laken grant is probably one of the most awesome grants that we have available right now. Margaret Brady has done a tremendous job spearheading Vision Shenandoah. She is the perfect person to do it. The tough thing is going to be deciding where this grant goes. So we take priorities versus wants. Clearly we need housing, clearly we need daycare, but a lot of people voted for a recreation center, which I think is amazing. It brings in tax revenue, and a lot of people want something different in town. However, we do need housing, but we do also need daycare. So I'm excited to see where this grant goes, because either way it's a win-win.
All right, thank you very much, Kathy. And then Jeff Heiser, your turn.
Well, this family has been involved not only in this type of project, but in education for years as well, so they're a great support. This gives us a chance to look and be proactive and say to ourselves, what do we want our community to look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and that it can benefit all citizens of our community, whether it's the playground, the rec center, maybe using some of that money for the children that need lunches, families that can't pay for school lunches. I mean, the opportunities are so out there that it's going to be a tough job to get this started and developed what should be priority right off the bat.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. Now, our second question is kind of a follow-up question to the first one. The question is, how should funds provided to Vision Shenandoah by the Charles E. Lakin Foundation be used? Roger McQueen, you go first to the mayor's candidates.
That's a good question, but the Lakin Foundation actually limits this money to child care, housing, and recreation. So any other things it doesn't qualify for, as far as if we wanted to do streetscape or if we wanted to do something like that. They're very precise on what this money is going to go to, and this is the things they feel that they need, that the small communities need. We need affordable housing, we need affordable daycare, and recreation. And that's why the dream teams that are currently working, there's a housing committee that are looking at possibly even purchasing a home that they can redo. We're looking at the downtown buildings, what can be done down there for revitalization. I can tell you that the Recreation Committee has already got plans drawn up for a rec center. And so this will be something that will be presented to the Lakins down the road. So, that was something that came up years ago. That's the number one thing that young families moving to town are looking for, is a rec center. And so here's an opportunity for some money that can help us move that project forward. So, we're not going to be able to use it for every little thing we want to. They're very precise on what it goes to. And so those are the key things that we're looking at to be able to use that money for.
All right, thank you very much, Roger. And why don't we go to Jerry Wagaman?
Well, I have to agree with what people are saying about what the money needs to be used for. I do believe also that the community center needs to be built. This community center, if we build this thing, I do believe also needs to be a year-round center, something that is enclosed, something that is set up for all adults, all children to use, not just the students or the younger people of this community. I would love to see, and I do believe it's still needed, is a dog park brought in, which can be used for part of the community also. That's something that we have land for that could possibly get put into that area. So in the housing market, it definitely needs some attention. There are a lot of houses that are for sale in this town. There are a lot of houses that need a lot of attention and worked on, and part of that grant money can be used for taking care of that.
All right, thank you very much, Jerry. And now the First Ward Council members, Jeff Capps.
All right, well, I don't really know how to follow that up. I mean, I think we're all probably on the same page about that. I mean, there's only certain things we can do, but I know Kim mentioned the playground equipment, and I was at that meeting last week, and it was pretty neat what they want to do. And I'd also have to say in Ward 1, we don't really have a playground. I mean, you have Sportsman's Park and Waubonsie Park, but kids can't cross those roads to go to those parks. And I raised 3 kids in Ward 1, and they never had a park. And I'd kind of forgot about it till I started running for council, and it's like, oh yeah, you know, we don't have a playground in Ward 1. And maybe there's a way that some of that money could go to that, because there's all kinds of parks all over town, but we can't forget Ward 1.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. And now we go to Rita Gibson.
Well, one thing is we have tried to get a park in Ward 1, and it just has failed. They just haven't found the right location yet. Also, the lake, and you have to submit the plans, and they have to approve them as to what they determine necessary or what will really help the city. And on the rec plans, I think the school and the city and the hospital have already had plans to drawn up to do one of those.
All right, thank you very much, Rita. And now we go to Kim Swank.
The Lakin thing is a tremendous opportunity for Shenandoah. Like I said earlier, I really like the way it excited Shenandoah. People are meeting in big groups and small groups, and there's a lot of talk about it. But I think the projects will come. I know that we need housing, the playground, the daycare, all that we need, and the rec center. But I just like the way that it's got the spark going in the community, and there's more talking about what we need.
All right, thank you very much, Kim. And now we go to our at-large council members. Matthew Regan, you're up first.
I think the rec center would be a big benefactor to the city, including the school and all the student athletes. I know when I was going through school, that would have been something very beneficial for us. I know surrounding communities, Clarendon, Red Oak, have the Y and the Lead Center over there, so something like that would be very beneficial.
Thank you very much, Matthew. And now we go to Kathy Silvestri.
I think when it comes to the funds, I think it's great that they are designated for certain departments or certain areas. That way we can't, I guess, misappropriate funds or misuse funds. If there's any way to use some funds for each one of the items, I think that would be the best avenue to take. However, again, it's going to go priority versus wants at this point. Like, what do we actually need? Everybody wants a rec center, there's no doubt in my mind, but what do we need versus what do we want?
All right, thank you very much, Kathy. Jeff Heiser, you're up next.
As I said before, this benefits all citizens, and it gives us a chance to be proactive and take a look where we want to be 5 to 10 years down the road in our housing, with our daycare, with our rec center. It does benefit everybody in those areas, and if we get $880,000 a year, it gives us plenty to at least start and dream and say, what can we do to make Shenandoah better in these three areas based on the money we have.
Thank you very much, Jeff. And now Alan Jordan.
I know that there's a lot of young families in this community that are struggling right now, and they need some affordable housing, and they need some daycare. If we want to keep those families in Shenandoah for years to come, we need to be able to provide for them. With not much industry in Shenandoah any longer, it's difficult for those people to make it, and so we need to look out for them first off before we have to worry about any recreation or anything like that. We need to look at life and not just fun.
All right, thank you very much, Alan. And now we go to our third question this evening. 1 year ago this month, the Shenandoah City Council approved a resolution placing the community under Stage 4 water conservation. The question is, what is your plan to ease the community out of Stage 4 water regulations? First of all, the mayor's candidates, Jerry Wagaman.
Wow, that's a good one. As far as trying to get us out of Stage 4, I really don't know how that's going to take place. I don't know what's going on with the treatment plant right at the moment, where they are at as far as being on or not on budget and on time to get it in place. Basically, we just need to get an idea of what's going to take place as far as we can't We cannot control what the weather's going to do. We can't control if it's going to rain, not going to rain. All we can do is see what's going to take place with the water, when it's brought in, when the wells are all installed, and how long this is going to take before everything's back up to, quote, normal.
All right, thank you very much, Jerry. And now we go to Roger McQuaid.
To get out of stage 4, we are actually been proactive for the last year and a half. Unfortunately, we do not get the moisture that we need, seeing as how we run off of shallow wells. We did put 2 new wells in. They are online. That's given us a little more water coming in. But you know what? If we don't get the rain, we don't fill the wells up. So the next option was, and this is what we're in the process of doing right now, is running a 6.5-mile pipe from the Fremont Channel aquifer west of town into our water plant. We will put 1 to 2 wells out there. We actually bought enough land to put 4 if we need to down the road, but 2 wells will be sufficient. Once we tap into that aquifer, it will supply enough water into Shenandoah that we shouldn't have to worry about this again. But to get out of stage 4 right now, until the wells start showing an increase where we feel a safe position to raise it. The thing that we do not want to do is to go to a stage 1, then have to take it right back down to a stage 4 because the wells start dropping. So luckily we're coming out of the heat. We're going into the time of year where maybe we can get actually some ground moisturing and actually get some water in the wells. And so that's our hope. The aquifer project is going to take a little time. So we may be in a situation next summer the same way. But I don't like being in it as anybody else, but I am grateful that the citizens have conserved. We have never had to ration. People's been able to have all the drinking water, all the bathing water, the laundry, everything they've needed. Where you look at some other cities that have had to put them on a ration. So I think we have been proactive. The Iowa DNR has recognized us for that, and so I'm grateful.
All right, thank you very much, Roger. And now the First Ward Council candidates. Rita Gibson.
Well, like Roger said, we've been trying to work on this water problem for several years, and we do have the land bought. We did do 2 new wells, and they are online, but it takes a while for the water to replenish when you don't have the rain to put the moisture back in the wells, and it is going to take, there's hoops you have to go through when you're dealing with the DNR and the government on getting the aquifer through. And hopefully when we do that, that will relinquish the stage 4.
All right, thank you very much. Jeff Capps, you're up next.
All right, well, this has been a pretty contentious subject for quite a while in this town, I think. And I know the citizens have had a lot of questions, but was that 2 council meetings ago? Tim Martin came and spoke about the situation and kind of explained it, and I think he did a good job of explaining it to people. I think there's still some people out there that don't quite understand it, so we may need to, talk to citizens more about it. But hopefully, if this pipeline goes as they're saying, this will never be a problem again. I mean, we can only hope, because it's not good when people are, upset about this situation and not knowing what's going on. And I don't know, it's just one of those things, though. There's so many factors that come into play in this, and I think there are still some things that might need to be looked at in the city with water usage. But one thing I want to say is I don't think anybody should get any exceptions for their water. We should all have the exact same restrictions, no matter who you are.
All right. Thank you very much, Jeff. And we go now to Kim Swank.
I think the city has worked really hard on this. I think that we're kind of out ahead of it. We're in a lot better shape than some communities, being proactive. And I want to thank the residents for doing their restrictions, paying attention to that, because we were in a very desperate need of water at one time. We have put 2 new wells on, as they said, and we are trying to do the aquifer. I think we're got it still problematic to us, but I think we're on the right track.
All right, thank you very much, Kim. Now the council at large candidates. Kathy Silvestri, you're first.
If there's a question that gets asked weekly, it is the water question. Like, this question is constantly asked. I personally think everybody should be conserving water. It is not just the citizens' responsibility to conserve water. It is the business's responsibility. It is the citizens' responsibility. It is everybody within Shenandoah city limits. No one other person is more important than you or her or anybody else. I do understand businesses need to use water, but you know what? So do citizens. They need to water their garden. That's how people use, feed their families. I do understand that. It sucks. It sucks all across the board for everybody all the time. We all have to work together to conserve as much water as possible. There's just no easy way to come about it. If everybody just worked together to conserve as much as we can, I think we might get out of it a lot sooner. But right now, it is what it is. Nobody likes it, but we just got to deal with it.
All right, thank you very much, Kathy. Now we go to Jeff Heiser.
When we say we've been dealing with it for a year and a half, this is not something that just popped up in the last couple of years. This has been going on for a long time. And that's why I'm saying it needs to be proactive. We shouldn't have to wait till we get in a serious situation to try to come up with a plan. We should have been looking at these wells. We knew our wells, some were older and needed to be replaced. We did get 2 new wells, but we had to wait because we didn't have the equipment to get them all hooked up. And so now we're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to go into the aquifer, and I think that's a great idea. But we have to, as a council, and I can't do anything personally because I have no authority individually. A city council as a whole has the authority, but there are many things that sometimes we overlook that we need to do a better job of, and it doesn't take too long. For example, at the end of the swimming season, you used to go in and check the pool to see where it was at, what needed to be updated. Well, that kind of fell through a crack as well. So we just need to do a better job of checking our resources and how it's going to affect our future.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. And now, Alan Jordan.
Yes, this has been an ongoing thing for many years, and it seems like nothing really gets taken care of until you're in dire straits. I think if we're talking about foresight and what needs to happen, I think we need to kind of look ahead at what could possibly happen. And in an emergency situation like we have now, maybe we need to do something ahead of getting attached to this other aquifer. That's going to take several years to get water here. What happens if we run out? I mean, the citizens of Shenandoah are going to be a little upset. So I think maybe we need to look at maybe some more emergency measures, maybe another shallow well or 2, just to get us by until we get this aquifer attached to.
All right, thank you very much. And now we go to Matthew Regan.
I feel like the water situation has been a very big and heavy topic throughout the community. I feel like we're kind of on the uphill stretch here. I feel like with these 2 new wells coming in, it'll be very beneficial getting everything filled back up. Maybe looking towards some other options in water just in case if the wells don't work out or anything. But I feel like we've been patient enough, and it's been very inconvenient for a lot of situations, but we still have water. So that's it.
All right, thank you very much, Matthew. And now it's time for our next question. Staying on the water issue for just a moment, what, if any, changes would you make to the city's water department operations? Again, the question is, what, if any, changes would you make to the city's water department operations? We go first to the mayor's candidates and Roger McQueen.
I believe the city's water department, as well as the wastewater department and all the other departments in the city of Shenandoah are 100% effective, and they do their job. So I don't see any changes of any type coming to make any difference on low water in the wells. So,
All right, thank you very much, Roger. And we go now to Jerry Wagaman.
As far as any changes that need to be made into the water department, I don't really see where changing personnel or the equipment in the departments is going to make a difference on the fact that we actually have a water shortage. So the water shortage issue is what needs to be addressed.
All right, thank you very much, Jerry. And now we go to the First Ward Council candidates and Jeff Capps.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I don't think there's much changes really that we could do. But, I mean, I probably like a broken record. I just think we need to be more transparent and let the citizens know what's going on in a language everybody can understand. And, you know, some people probably never will understand it, but we got to try because people don't feel like they're really informed.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. And we go now to Rita Gibson.
I'm agreeing there should no change in the people who work for the city in the water department or the wastewater department. That wouldn't make any difference in the amount of water that we had. And if people have questions, Tim and Tom are very good. They will answer your questions if they would just call them and find out.
Thank you very much, Rita. And now we go to the Third Ward Council candidate, Kim Swank.
As far as the department leadership, I think we got excellent leaders in our staff. I don't think there's any changes to be made there. We really have a good group of people working for us. The problem is that the people that are complaining don't ask questions. They just kind of make up their own mind that something's wrong and we're not doing it right. I mean, because Tim has been and gave presentations at the council meeting and explained it in very specific form, and I think the people are just the ones that are saying something bad about it. I just don't think they understand the situation, and they need to get more involved with that. And if they got questions, they need to call City Hall or Tim. Tim will answer any question anytime, even give you a tour if you want.
All right, thank you very much, Kim. And now the council at large candidates, Jeff Heiser.
Well, I agree. I can't make any changes individually, but we do have the right people in place, and we as council members have to have our faith in our department heads to come to us if there are things that need to be changed, so they're proactive, so we're not surprised. So I'm going to rely on the people in charge in those departments to keep the council informed and say this is what we need, and we make that decision as a council.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. And we now go to Alan Jordan.
I would like to see a system implemented that we could upgrade some of our infrastructure. We've had a lot of water main breaks over the course of years, and I think we need to probably get some lines replaced, and maybe we would lose less water that way.
Thank you very much, Alan. And we go to Matthew Regan.
I think the water department does a great job with the circumstances that are upon them right now. They are very timely with the street department and fixing things, and I don't see a change needed.
All right, and Kathy Silvestri.
I just think that maybe a little more transparency would be great. I do understand you guys expect the citizens to ask, and it's not that they don't. And I will touch base on this. When they say call City Hall, that's a whole story in itself. I do think maybe after a rain, monthly, bi-weekly, you could post an update on where we are with the water level. I think that would be great. We have a little tower inside City Hall. Nobody sees it. If you put it outside, everybody could see it. Nobody would have a reason to complain, but yet they still would. There just needs to be a little more communication when it comes to the citizens, because they honestly don't know. They have to post it on Facebook for somebody to answer, and then you get 10 million different answers, or it's call the city hall or call the water department. I just think a little more transparency would be great. Personnel wise, I think you guys do a great job.
All right, thank you very much, Kathy. And now we go to our next question. And based on the questions we received from the public, there is a perception that there is a high turnover rate of officers in the Shenandoah Police Department. The question is, what resolution do you have for the police officer turnover rate? And for this next question, we'll go to Jerry Wagaman.
I've heard that supposedly they say that the police department is not paid well enough and that it's being used as a stepping stone. I do not believe that to be the case. That's just my personal opinion. As far as the turnover and how that's going to get fixed, at some point, I believe the administration needs to look at what's going to get done with the personnel that are there, that if there's an actual issue with the personnel in the department, that maybe that needs to be addressed.
All right, thank you very much, Jerry. And now we go to Roger McQueen.
I believe there is a turnover in the police department for the fact that it's been going on for years. You know, a lot of these guys, especially if they're young single guys, they look at getting onto a department like Shenandoah. They get through the academy, they stay, you know, a year or two, and then they start looking down the road for maybe something bigger and better. And I don't blame them. I mean, you have an opportunity as a young single guy to go into Iowa State Patrol. You know, good luck to them because I think that's great. Anytime they can make themselves better, you know, in life. So, you know, it happens here. Recently at a mayor's conference a month ago, and we're not alone in this. I can't believe how many towns I talked to that are doing this, have the same problems that we do with police turnover, and most of them are towns 5,000 or less. So, you know, we did boost their rate of pay a year or so ago, and to try to attract more into town. We do have quite a few on file for applications, and so, you know, I don't think it's a turnover problem as far as the department. I think it's the way it's been for a long time, and unfortunately, that's probably the way it will be.
All right, thank you very much, Roger. And now the first ward candidates. Rita Gibson.
Well, I don't know a whole lot other than does seem to be a lot of turnover. I know they have applications, and the applicants have trouble passing either the written or the physical so they can go to the academy. And we did do an increase in pay, but they still, you know, look around for something better after they get a little training under their belt and go on.
All right, thank you very much, Rita. And we go now to Jeffrey Capps.
All right, well, first of all, luckily our crime is pretty minimal in our town, and I definitely think that the officers get paid plenty for what they do. But the turnover thing's been happening since I can remember. I mean, these small towns, it always is like a training ground for people, and I've talked to some other officers, and I know that there's a lot of cannibalism going on, other towns trying to poach officers, and I think every small town in our area is, you know, having to deal with this. But also, is there something going on inside the department, you know, that's causing maybe some turnover? Is someone doing something they shouldn't be doing, or is someone not treating someone the way they should be treated? And if that's the case, we may need to, you know, do some kind of internal investigation with whether the state auditor or the Department of Criminal Investigation, if we think that that's necessary. Or it could be like we're saying, it's just kind of a thing that happens in these small towns. People are always looking for bigger and better things.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. And now the third ward council candidate, incumbent Kim Swank.
We have a big problem with the officer turnover, and I think a lot of that we can't really help because there's a lot of of people that want to move on. They want to become a highway patrolman. They want to become a sheriff. And I understand all that for movement. But I think we need to do a better job of having exit interviews. We need to maybe have a committee formed to sit in on these things. And if there's a problem, we need to address it.
All right, thank you very much, Kim. And now we go to the council at large candidates, and Alan Jordan, you're next.
The police department is a union organization, so I don't know exactly how all of that works, but I think that if we signed a young officer on, we send them to the academy, we pay for it, maybe we should have an extended contract with that person so that they can't go somewhere else very quickly, and if they do decide to break the contract, then maybe they would need to pay for their training. That might be a deterrent to maybe keep an officer on call.
All right, thank you very much. And now we go to Matthew Regan.
I feel like the turnover rate for the PD isn't abnormal. It's quite normal. Since I've been in high school, I was part of the police cadet program. A lot of officers came and gone, but they were going to bigger and better things. It's just part of their career where they have to move on and to try to better themselves and bettering the community and protecting the citizens.
All right, thank you very much, Matthew. We go to Kathy Silvestri.
I agree with the exit interview. There's a reason why they are leaving. A majority of them that have left still live in town, so it's not because they necessarily are moving away. The pay here is decent, so I guess at the end of the day, what's the common denominator of why everybody's leaving? We need to do more exit interviews with somebody who is maybe not an officer to figure out, I guess, why they're leaving. So there's a reason. They just need to figure out what that reason is.
All right, thank you very much. And now we go to Jeff Heiser.
As far as the pay, when you're working with a union, contracts, they kind of dictate, and it's negotiable. Roger, unless they've changed it, it used to you did, as an officer, had to sign a contract and stay so long, and if you didn't, then you had to pay that percentage. So if you stayed only within a year, and it's not cheap to go to the academy at all. But the first thing I wrote down was exit interviews. So I think there's several of us agree with that. And we have to look at everything when we talk to them. And no offense, but it has to be everything within the department. It's not just about the pay. We need to look and see how comfortable from leadership down. How is everything going, and how do the officers feel about all of that? And I think that's important. It's just not one particular thing. And we can get some good feedback by exit interviews.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. Our next question delves into the topic of economic development. The question is, what's your plan to attract new businesses that provide multiple jobs, not just one-person operations? Again, the question is, what's your plan to attract new businesses that provide multiple jobs, not just one-person operations? We go first to the mayor's candidates and Roger McQueen.
I think what we have to keep looking at is to make Shenandoah attractive for these places that want to come in. I think Seed Box was the last one that was a good example. They're not a major employer, but 15 to 20 people working out there for a business to come in here from Illinois that was looking for a good, solid home. And so, sadly, I don't think we'll ever have the companies like an Eaton that has 700 to 800 employees. And so we're constantly looking for those companies like a Seed Box, like somebody like that. The Discaro plant's a good example too. So unfortunately, like I say, I don't think we'll ever get to big industries, but we have to keep looking at those. And we promote Shenandoah as a good place to live, what we can offer here, and those companies like that one found us and came here because of that. So I think we have to keep working on what the town is and representing it and being proud of where we live. And these companies, when they start looking to move, they're going to look at Shenandoah really serious.
All right, thank you very much, Roger. And now we go to Jerry Wagaman.
I do believe that we have somebody that's with the city that actually is in charge or somewhat in charge of the chamber that has to deal with personnel and businesses coming to the city of Shenandoah. And I believe as the mayor, we need to work with that person or that group and make sure that we can find the people that want to come to Shenandoah and the businesses that want to come and get involved with the community.
All right, thank you very much, Jerry. And now let's go to the First Ward Council candidates. Jeffrey Capps.
All right, well, that's kind of a hard one. I mean, small towns are kind of dying around here, and it's not a lot of people wanting to stay around here. I mean, look at, we lost Eaton's, we lost Brown's. I mean, it's kind of sad, especially when Brown's always bragged about how they were, a small town. But I think Greg Connell's done a lot to get people, to look at our town. And one thing that always I remember in my mind when Pella was thinking about coming to Shenandoah, my junior class, we did all kinds of programs to promote our town and the high schoolers. I mean, we showed Pella, hey, this is a place that you guys need to look at. And I think, we just need to find the right businesses that are looking for a town like ours. But we have to be really careful because we don't want to just bend over backwards to get some company in here at the expense of the citizens of the town. I mean, you see that a lot. We need environmental protections for our people and things like that. So I think we got to be really careful.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. Rita Gibson.
Yes, I think, how we promote our town and how we show the businesses that are maybe looking to come to a smaller town what we have to offer. Some railroad connections, we're not that far from the interstate, so highway truck traffic. But we just need to keep looking and get out there and kind of, shake the bushes and see if there's anybody that it's hard to get people to come to a small town or big businesses, but we aren't that far from larger cities, so maybe we can find something.
All right, thank you very much, Rita. Now we go to Kim Swank.
I know one thing that I would like to see happen, but it'd be an awful expensive thing for the city. I'd like to see us build an industrial park and maybe a couple spec buildings so people would have somewhere to go when they come. I think, we promote our town well, but there's really no place to come and there's no place to build. I would just like to see us work on the structure of the maybe an industrial park and maybe a couple spec buildings, and how we get them funded, I don't know, but maybe that would be something that maybe the Lakin Committee could work on. That's just my opinion.
All right, thank you very much, Kim. And now we go to the Council at Large candidates and Matthew Regan.
I feel like bringing in big businesses would be great, but we are a small community, so I feel like bringing in more small businesses to fill out our downtown area and utilize some of the infrastructure that we already have in those buildings. They do need some work, but it'd be sad to see those torn down. We need to get some really nice small businesses from surrounding communities to kind of grow this way as well, and maybe some of our own community members would be growing their business big enough where they could potentially use one of those spaces.
Thank you very much, Matthew. Kathy Silvestri.
I'm going to piggyback off that real quick. I think more small businesses in the long run would be ideal. We have so many empty buildings downtown. I know Vision Shenandoah made a post, and there, I believe, was 14 empty buildings. Like, what are we doing? We need to figure out why everybody's leaving. Why are we not keeping them here, or is there a potential to keep them here? What are we offering them? What are we doing to help them? Why is everybody leaving? I think small businesses are great, and industrial business would be ideal, but do we have anywhere for them to go other than the Eaton's building? we need to utilize what we have and try to maintain it and sustain it here versus, bigger picture.
All right, thank you very much. Jeff Heiser.
I agree with Kathy. We talked about exit interviews for officers. Well, those that are in the hunt and they decide not to come here, we need to know those reasons so we can work on it, whether it's the water, infrastructure, or tax rate, and the industrial park. But we also can use TIF money to help draw in some businesses as well. And I know some people look at that wrong, saying, oh, you're giving them a break on their taxes and stuff. But when they come in, it's more a break on their taxes. It's bringing in employees and people into your community. So we need to look at using more TIF money if we can, and that would be an incentive.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff Heiser. We go to Alan Jordan.
I think we're kind of getting the cart a little bit before the horse. If we bring a business in, what are we offering them? We're at a stage 4 water rationing. We have no affordable housing. We don't have enough daycare. I think we need to take care of those issues first to make it appealing for a company to want to move into Shenandoah. We have to get those things taken care of ahead of bringing them in, because otherwise we have nothing to offer them.
All right, thank you very much, Alan. Before we get to the next question, I have to give a station identification. You're listening to KMA, AM 960 in Shenandoah and FM 99.1 Clarinda, Shenandoah. This, again, is the 2025 Shenandoah Candidates Forum. Our next question, again, a little bit more of an economic development question. Do you believe Shenandoah has a housing shortage? And if so, what should be done to create more affordable housing in the community? Again, our question, do you believe Shenandoah has a housing shortage? And if so, what should be done to create more affordable housing in the community? Jerry Wagaman, you're up first for the mayor's candidates.
I don't really know if Shenandoah actually has a housing shortage. I've driven around Shenandoah numerous times over the last couple of months, and it seems that there is quite an abundance amount of houses that are actually up for sale. So whether or not we actually have the shortage or not, I don't know. But part of what I was actually even looking at addressing was the number of apartments that Shenandoah has that are above a lot of the businesses. And I honestly think that maybe there's something that can be done for those business owners and stuff to actually get a little bit of assistance, whether or not it's tax assistance or grant assistance, to actually look into fixing up their apartments and fixing those up in the downtown area to help try to draw more people into living downtown.
All right, thank you very much, Jerry. And we go to Roger McQueen.
I don't think Shenandoah actually has a true housing shortage. I think what we have a shortage of is that middle range price housing. It seems like we have the high end and then we go to the other. I've been paying a lot of attention the last 4 years of the houses that go on the market. Some of them don't even get a sign in their yard and they're already sold. We don't have, when you look at some of the other communities, the number of homes for sale as they do. And so I think the aspect of getting the people to come to town, there are homes for sale. We need to be looking at those mid-range sale prices. And I think it's a lot of what Vision Shenandoah is looking at, is trying to find that affordable home in there for the young family to get started. And so, something like that and duplexes and so forth are a good example. And those can be done, down the road if we can find the properties and find, hopefully through Lakin, to maybe make some of these things happen. So overall, the homes are here, and it just depends on the price range. And so I think we have to get more moderately priced on those.
All right, thank you very much, Roger. And now we go to the First Ward Council candidates and Rita Gibson.
I also feel there's lots of houses in Shenandoah that are for sale, but one of the problems is the mid-range prices. They're like Roger said. They're either very expensive or they're on the lower end of the case. And maybe the Lakin you know, there's houses that can be bought and fixed up. If they could get some money to do that, some of the people might, you know, may be able to afford the house and then get some work done to make them livable.
All right, thank you very much, Rita. And we go now to Jeff Capps.
All right, well, I'm going to kind of have to go along with what Alan's saying, and I'm kind of disagreeing about this mid-price thing. People are struggling. We need low-income housing, and not just apartments. People don't take care of apartments. They need something they can be proud of. It's where a Habitat for Humanity was a great thing, you know, and I am a recipient of a Habitat house, and the economy is just struggling, and it's, people are, you know, we're talking about child care. People can't afford child care, so how are we going to afford mid-range houses? I mean, I know we need all, you know, all levels of housing, but, you know, and we need more affordable stuff, especially, you know, in the day and age we're in.
Okay, thank you very much, Jeff. Third Ward Councilman Kim Swank.
I agree. We do need more affordable housing, and I think that they're $300,000 or $400,000 houses are kind of out of the range. And I know the last few houses that were built, they were talking they spent over $1 million building them. There's not very many people in Shenandoah that can afford those kind of houses. We need some small houses that are affordable, and there's price of lumber and everything is going crazy. It's how do you make a small house that's going to be affordable this day and age? But we need to figure out the system and get it done.
All right, thank you very much, Kim. And then we go down to Kathy Silvestri with the at-large candidates.
I agree. We are in an affordable housing shortage. There were an abundance of, I guess, dilapidated houses. I would like to see those get fixed up. At the end of the day, I understand the city doesn't want to take on that burden. They need to sell them, and whoever buys them fixes them up instead of, you know, maybe tearing them down to build a garage or whatever. Or bring in some mini houses, something. But yes, affordable housing does not exist in Shenandoah.
All right, thank you very much, Kathy. And now Jeff Heiser.
Well, I think we need former President Jimmy Carter, God bless his soul, to come in and answer this question for us. But it might be, I mean, Margaret Brady has done a wonderful job of purchasing some homes, and they've been affordable. If there's an incentive we could give people to do what many have been saying right now, that would be great. Or do we work with an outside agency like more Habitat for Humanity and not only get that, but get the people that need the houses involved in fixing them up at the end.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. Now we go to Alan Jordan.
A few years ago, the city did get involved in building some housing with some grant projects and some things like that. Affordable housing is something that we definitely need, but I think what we need to look at is keeping those costs down as much as possible. A person needs a home. They don't need the Taj Mahal. We seem to get lost in that sometimes, you know, that they have to be better than everybody else's. And that's not what people need. People just need a home. We need to concentrate on that. And I know other towns around have done some track housing. Maybe that's something that we need to undertake. These rehab houses that these people get, I don't think they quite realize what the costs are to rehab a house now, and they kind of lose track of what's going on. They can't really afford it once they get started. So either someone needs to come in and rehab it and sell the home to them, or somebody at least needs to give them a class on how much it's going to cost to rehab it.
All right, thank you very much, Alan. Now we go to Matthew Regan.
I feel like there is a starter home shortage in town. I know when I was hunting for my first house in town, I had quite an issue in a long time finding the right one for me and the right price range for me. And I feel that's difficult for a lot of people. With Jim Hughes moving into the community, making their office more more well-known and on 59, I potentially seeing working with them and getting a new housing development kind of put up, but nothing crazy, just something small, something affordable for starters, nice starter homes, and to just get your foot wet in the real estate.
All right. Thank you very much, Matthew. This next question has to do with something that some of the candidates touched on earlier, and it was submitted by a member of the public. The question is, what steps should be taken to increase transparency in city government and make more information accessible to the public? Again, our question, what steps should be taken to increase transparency in city government and make more information accessible to the public? Roger McQueen, you're first of the mayor's candidates.
I believe the information gets out, but I will agree that there's probably opportunities for better opportunities to get that information out. We're in a changing world where, with the internet and everything else, and so we have tried, in the last year or so to get some of these things maybe up to date a little more, where people. Because we did find out that more people use the internet to find information. So, we're trailing in that, and I'll be the first to say we are. But we are trying really hard to get caught up, to be able to get that out to the people. I think the information that they want to know, like what happens at a council meeting, that kind of information can be shared. Mike, you and me do a nice job on Wednesdays to try to get that information out over the radio. But these things, I guess, until we know exactly what everybody wants, it's hard to put everything out there. So I think you'll see continuous improvements in this just because of the way the world is changing. And as far as transparency, I don't feel that there's anything that's ever not put out there. Some things are just not because nobody's asked about them or whatever. So, we're working on doing a better job, I will say that.
All right, thank you very much, Roger. We go now to Jerry Wagaman.
I do believe that transparency is a very big thing for the city. As far as making changes, we look at a lot of ordinances that the city has involved. Everybody seems to be talking about the fact the only way they can find out about an ordinance is to actually go to the city hall, ask somebody about it. To me, I believe that something like that is something that should be posted online. All city ordinances, in my opinion, should always be posted online so they're accessible 24/7 to everybody to go see and see what's going on. Minutes from the city council meeting and all that also needs to be posted, what takes place online, so that somebody could actually just go and see what actually is there without actually having to go to the council meeting all the time or go down to City Hall during hours of business, because a lot of people don't have the time or the availability to get down there to address those issues at that time. I do believe if we don't have the personnel in place to actually put the ordinances and the stuff online that need to be done, then maybe the city needs to look at hiring somebody to come in and actually take that job on and get that stuff taken care of and done.
All right, thank you very much, Jerry. And now we go to Rita Gibson.
On the transparency, I know the city's working with a company that we're working to do the codes and the updating and everything to put them online. AJ has to go through and make sure that what they have printed is right, so that takes time. A lot of people don't look at the newspaper or take the newspaper or look at the radio, listen to the radio. They'll look online for things. So media, it needs to be put out there if people, if they want to let us know how they want to perceive the way they want to have it all transparent so people can look at it, then maybe the city could work on that and they could give us some ideas.
All right, thank you very much. Jeff Capps.
All right, this has been talked about quite a bit too. I don't know exactly the answer, but there's got to be a better way. I mean, I know, sometimes you'll get a little half a sentence on our water bill. That's not enough. I mean, I don't know how hard it would be to just send a letter to everybody, and a lot of people, people up here say, oh, call Tim or call Tom or whoever, and they're going to talk to you or come to the meeting. A lot of people are extremely intimidated by that. And other people, they own businesses and they don't want to speak their mind because they're afraid of, something bad coming their way, and I kind of have a novel idea. You got to meet people where they're at, That's why I'm running for city council. I mean, I'm out there with the people, I want to know what the people think. And we just got to, you got to meet people where they're at.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. And now we go to 3rd Ward Councilman Kim Swank.
One way I think we could improve communications is I'd like to see the council and the mayor hold town hall meetings where we could get people out there and give them the opportunity to tell us what they think and ask questions that they need to think. I think we need to be more out front with the public. I think town hall meetings would be the way to go.
All right, thank you very much, Kim. And the council at large candidates, Jeff Heiser.
This issue's been going on a long time. I brought this up the last time I was on the city council. There's no reason that you can't work with the company and get these online immediately and then have somebody in charge. When I was superintendent, as soon as a policy changed, it went online. We could also have an updated ordinance book available where you didn't have to ask the clerk, but on one of the counters outside there, one in the library. I know I went over there to look at something, and it was a waste of time because it wasn't updated. The town hall meetings that I wrote down about legislative meetings, so town hall meetings are the same once a month or whatever it might be, but we do need to utilize our media, and we need to get on this. And then at city council meetings, instead of just, quickly getting through an agenda, take a little bit more time and explain, why you paid this bill or why you did something in there so the public that's even there understands. Or even possibly getting online and having it where people can watch the council meetings at home when they're live.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. Alan Jordan.
I realize that there's probably certain things that the public doesn't need to be made aware of, financial-wise and whatever, but social media is the way that young people know what's going on. Unfortunately, like myself, I'm old school. Send me a newsletter. You got our address. Let's just do that.
Okay, thank you very much, Alan. Matthew Regan.
I feel like potentially live streaming city council meetings so people can either stay at home and not go or go back and look back on them when it's convenient for them. I feel like updating the website more regularly, putting all the documentation on the website so people can easily go and find it, and just keeping updated on maybe adding like more social media and stuff, work into the city departments.
All right, and Kathy Regan, Kathy Silvestri, I'm sorry.
Okay. I have personally asked every other month 2 council members for the past 4.5 years regarding ordinances and being put online. And every answer that I got, and I can go through them, says we are working on it, and they are yet to be online. I personally think that's an issue. With today's society, and as much as social media is everywhere, there should be no reason that ordinances aren't online. There should be no reason that we can't, virtually watch a council meeting. Somebody brought it up the other day regarding, I think there was a water main break, and they were wondering how they were going to find out because they weren't online. I think it'd be great if we had some sort of messaging system. Hey, you live on these 2 blocks, we're gonna send you a text message. Now, if you choose not to update City Hall with your correct phone number, that's your problem. I mean, they're not gonna chase you down for your phone number, but there should be absolutely no reason that we do not have these resources readily available online.
All right, thank you very much, Kathy. We're going to squeeze in one more question before we wrap up tonight. The question is, What steps would you take to continue the trend of reducing the city's property tax levy? Again, the question is, what steps would you take to continue the trend of reducing the city's property tax levy? We go to Jerry Wagaman.
Honestly, I don't know what the procedures are out there right now for them determining what the property taxes are. All that I do know is, and that's with personal experience, that over the last few years that I continue to see my property taxes increase, and for what reasons I really don't know why. I don't know what auditors come in and decide that now your property is worth this much more than it was the previous year if no changes have been made. So how I would go about getting that changed without looking into it a lot deeper, I don't know what I would do.
All right, thank you very much. Roger McQueen.
Actually, probably what you were referring to would be county taxes, because the city taxes, the levy is totally different than that. If anybody's been following it, you know that we had the lowest tax levy at a little over $14 a thousand last year, and that was the lowest it's been in 29 years. So I guess my plan would be, if I would get reelected for another 4 years, would be to continue doing what we're doing to keep that tax levy at the same as what it is, or lower it. So that's be my intention.
All right, thank you very much, Roger. Let's go to Jeffrey Capps.
All right, well, this is a subject I don't really know a whole lot about. So since I'm running for city council, I guess I would go out and learn exactly what's going on and make phone calls and talk to other communities and see where they're at. And, you know, I'm out here to learn, so.
All right, thank you very much. Rita Gibson.
I do know that our tax levy, like Roger said, has gone down, and the appraisals and stuff for the home come out of the county, so they're done differently.
Great, thank you very much, Rita. Kim Swank.
I think we have done a fairly good job of keeping our taxes down in this town. We have great people working in the different departments in our community that they take care of their budgets. They only spend what they need to spend. They don't expect any more. I think we do a good job of holding things down. There's a lot of things we can't control, like taxes and stuff like that. You know, it's just a no-win situation when the government wants to cut down taxes on this, tax on that. But I think as far as overall, the city has done a good job keeping the taxes down where they could, and I think our department heads are a big appreciated fact that they do a good job at keeping that stuff down.
All right, thank you very much, Kim. To the council at large candidates, Alan Jordan.
I understand that our levy is down. It's came down a few years ago, and it's been pretty nice actually. But you have to stop and ask yourself, where would you be without taxes? You know, you have to pay taxes. You want your streets plowed in the wintertime. You want your parks mowed. You have to have these things in order for the city to maintain itself. So these people have done a really fine job of keeping that down. And I think if everything goes the same way, it should be just fine still.
All right. Matthew Reagan.
I don't know too much about this topic, but I will do some more research. And but I feel like right now everything is going as well as it could be.
All right. Kathy Silvestri.
I think for the most part, budgeting is going great as far as keeping everything down. It helps us with taxes. Cut your budget by an extra $500 and our taxes won't go up for a while. So there's your solution.
All right. And Jeff Heiser.
I like that. You know, every year, of course, the department heads look at their line items and see what they can cut. But the problem is everything's going up in the world, and we still have to, as a city, have to provide services. So it becomes tough, and we are one of the lowest. We can't control the county tax, but all we can continue to do is look at our budget each year And if we got some fat we can cut out, then we'll cut those out and go from there.
All right. Thank you very much, Jeff. And now it's that time. We have come to our closing statements now. Time has flown by, and it's time for our council candidates, our mayoral candidates, to make one last statement. Roger McQueen, you have the last statement.
You know, first I want to thank KMA and the forum, Mike and Natalie both, for being able to offer this to the citizens. I think this is great. You know, 4 years ago you did it, and so I was very happy to see you did it again. You know, I'm just going to put it in a nutshell. You know, I ran 4 years ago to give back to Shenandoah to try and make it a better place. You know, I live here. I love the town, and so I'm running again to go ahead and complete some of the things we've gotten started. You know, we'd love to get the water issue taken care of and so forth. I try every day to do my best for all the citizens. You know, you can't make everybody happy, but some of the decisions are hard, and some of them will offend someone no matter what. So, but I have enjoyed it, and I've appreciated the people that have contacted me personally, you know, about problems and so forth. So I like being mayor. I'd like to do it again for another 4 years if I'm given that opportunity. And let's keep the momentum and, like Kim said, the spark going in Shenandoah. I think we're going to see a lot of good things coming here in the next few years.
All right, thank you very much. Jerry Wagaman.
Again, I'd like to thank you guys here at KMA for putting this on. This has been very, very good for people that get to meet all of us candidates. As far as, I would just like to see Shenandoah improve. I want to have an open door policy so that nobody feels like they cannot come and talk with me about any of the subjects, no matter how big or how small. Everything should be addressed no matter what anybody thinks would be right or wrong. And to me, bringing in the city, bringing in the town hall meetings, all of those are great ideas. I just look forward to having the opportunity to serve. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Rita Gibson, your closing statement, please.
Well, I would like to thank KMA and also the Forum for Shenandoah and all the people that took time to come and participate. I hope you got some information out of it, and we keep Shenandoah going with the spark that Larkin has started. And I will be glad to talk to anybody like I have in the past few years when you stop me on the street or in the grocery store or anything and discuss what questions, and I'll try and find some answers for you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Jeffrey Capps.
Yeah, this has been great. I'm glad people showed up, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak. When I started on this journey, I had no idea what I was doing at all. I thought this was just going to be a fun side project. Quickly became very serious, and I found quickly I have a passion for this. I love the people in this town, and I think I've been beating the streets since July, and I've been out there talking to everybody, going to meetings, and even if I don't win, I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing because I do have a passion for this, and I think that I could bring a lot to the table.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. Kim Swank.
Well, I'd also like to thank KMA and the forum and the people that took time out of their day to come out here and hear this forum, and the people listening at home, and the school the opportunity of letting us use their building. I think that's very nice of them. As far as I've been fortunate enough to be on the council for 12 years, and I really like the idea that I think, and I'm pretty sure that my big goal is just to keep this town moving forward, and it's been good to my family, and so I want to be good to Shenandoah.
All right, thank you very much to the council at large candidates. Matthew Regan.
Thanks again to KMA and the Forum to Revitalize Shenandoah for hosting this. I want to thank everyone for listening and being here live. I want to just have an open and honest running campaign, and I really appreciate everyone And if you need anything, I'm always here to listen. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Kathy Silvestri.
I think Shenandoah as a whole is a great town. Do I think we can be better? Absolutely. There's always room for growth. We just need to keep going forward. I know water is a huge issue with everybody. Water was high yesterday, and chances are your water is going to be high tomorrow. So we got to kind of just move past that. Going forward, we need to figure out how can we do better, if we are doing our research better. Whatever the case may be, you got to get past the whole water issue because it's going to be high. As far as bringing businesses in, I would love to see Main Street flooded, every single storefront flooded with just new businesses. There's got to be a way that we attract more businesses. So if you have solutions, Margaret Brady is sitting right there. She will take your comments. But I think as a whole, Shenandoah does great, but we can always do better.
All right, thank you very much. Jeff Heiser.
Again, thank you guys for hosting. Thanks for coming out. And I also want to thank all the candidates, no matter what ward, that are willing to put their name out there. And that tells you right now that everybody here has a commitment to Shenandoah. My commitment is to the citizens of Shenandoah is to be financially responsible, making sure we have short-term and long-term goals, to work with community organizations to help Shenandoah grow. We talked about transparency, but most importantly, representing the citizens by listening to concerns, what they have to say, and make the best decision as a council person with our community in mind and how it will impact them. Not only am I asking for your vote, I'm asking for your partnership in building a stronger future for Shenandoah.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. And then Alan Jordan.
I'd like to thank everybody for the opportunity to get to meet all of us. Thank you for your questions. Shenandoah obviously means something to all of us, and we would all like to see it grow and continue to get better. Those of you that know me know that I will work to do that, and I would like to wish all the candidates good luck.
All right, thank you very much, Alan. And that concludes tonight's Shenandoah's 2025 Candidates Forum. We'd like to thank, first of all 9 candidates for participating in tonight's forum. Let's give them a big hand, folks. And we'd like to thank you folks in the audience in the Gladys Wirsig-Jones Auditorium for your respect and cooperation in tonight's forum. I didn't have to use or channel my dad's Marine Corps voice, so I appreciate that very much. Thanks to our producer-engineer Ryan Matheny and KMA anchor reporter Ethan Hewitt for setting up things tonight. Our big thanks to Natalie Kirsch, our timekeeper and president of the Forum to Revitalize Shenandoah, for her help in putting this forum together, and the entire forum for their cooperation. Big thanks to Shenandoah High School and the Shenandoah School District for making the auditorium available for this event. Extra big thanks to my wife and the custodian crew for handling an emergency tonight. And extra big thanks to Ashley Smith, the director of the Shenandoah Middle School Musical, for graciously moving tonight's rehearsal to the middle school. And don't forget the middle school musical, The Little Mermaid Jr. at the auditorium, November 7th through the 9th. We were trying to get the council candidates to sing Under the Sea, but it just didn't work out. I'd like to remind you we'll have coverage of tonight's forum tomorrow and for the next several days on KMA News, and you'll hear these candidates and others in our Meet the Candidates series and the Morning Line program Monday through Friday mornings at 7:35. So we're not done with you folks yet. So finally, remind you to exercise your vote, your right to vote in the November 4th city school elections. Vote absentee if you have to. In either case, please vote, and again, exercise your right. From the Gladys Wirsig-Jones Auditorium, I'm Mike Peterson. As Jack Benny would say, we're a little late, so good night, folks.